Happy Sunday, everybody. Cheers. Hope you guys are doing good. I'm excited to show you what all we got on the Bourbon Trail. It has been a real busy weekend. Hit that like, hit that share, that subscribe, that notification bell, all that fun stuff that YouTube likes. Let me know if you have something poured in your glass this Sunday. I'm actually starting with one of the bottles that we picked up at Wild Turkey. I love turkey's probably my favorite out of all of them. Probably my favorite. It's been a crazy busy weekend here. We have had the air show. We've had fighter jets going over the house. I was trying to do yard work earlier today, and that pretty much got completely stopped as soon as I came across a snake. So it's been a crazy weekend. Let's see who all we have in here. We've got Kathy Huey. We're tied up with friends and family tonight. Everybody have a great weekend. I'll catch the replay next week. Cheers to you, Kathy. Hope you have fun with all your friends tonight. That's always a good time. Hey, Orlando. Cheers to you. How are you doing? We got Liz B. Hello, getting on for a bit. Can't wait to hear about Stacy's trip. I have pictures. I have bottles and pictures. So this year we swore we were not getting as much as we did last trip. Yeah, we blew that right out of the water. In fact, we started the third day and said, unless something really jumps out at me, we're not going to buy it. We're kind of done spending, and we spent more on day 3 than we did the first 2. So yeah, I'm bad. If you're trying to curb your spending, I'm a bad one to go on a whiskey trip with. So you've been warned. Hey, Josh Fritz. Good evening. Cheers, all. Good evening to you. Kilko Whiskey Musings. Kilko, how are you doing? Kilko, I suck so much. I have your box downstairs. I swore that I put it in my car to take it to UPS, and I did not before we left. So I might open that up and see if I can stuff more in that box because you have been so incredibly patient. And I've already got some good things in there I think you're going to like. So I might have to get with you and see what you think of them once you get a chance to actually try some of them. Liz is sipping on bourbon, the new Barrel Craft 38. I did have a pour of Barrel Seagrass at the hotel. It's one of my favorites. Hey, cheers, Declan. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Drinking a little different whiskey tonight. Taste and sensibility. Cheers, everyone. Cheers to you. Amy Oburn, Oburn's Irish Pub. Cheers, everybody. If you are on Instagram, make sure you are subscribed to Oburn's Irish Pub. Make sure you are following them. It's really, really cool what the pub that Amy has going on inside her house. Sugar Kitty, meow. How are you doing, Sugar Kitty? Oh, let me go down. There you go, everybody. All right. So and I'm so stoked. I've got a whole new selection of wee glens. So literally everywhere we went that they have these little tiny glens, if they had one, I grabbed it. I bought it. Just because these are just perfect for being live with you guys and making sure I don't overindulge. So for those of you who don't know, we went to the Bourbon Trail to Kentucky. We left on, I think, what was it? Was it the 12th? Get my calendar out here. I think it was the Friday the 12th. Yes, Friday the 12th. So we just went for a weekend. We're fortunate. We only live 3 hours from Kentucky. So we drove down. It took us about 3 hours to get there. And we left rather early. We left a little early for our first tour. What organized tour wasn't until 2 p.m. at Four Roses. So we decided that we were going to go early and see what else we could hit along the way. And around that area, we came across Woodford Reserve. So that was our first stop, was Woodford. Gorgeous area. That is like horse money area. So I mean, the farms there are just incredible. Incredible. And I think I saw that one was like one of the farms was owned by TaylorMade Golfing. So we went to Woodford first. Oh, we got more people jumping in here. Ooh, that is a nice pour. Starting with Teeling single grain, somewhat bourbon like. It's got corn. It's corn. Yeah, I like Teeling single grain. That's a good one. Sugar Kitty. I live off wee glens. I'm a wee size human. Hey, Bourbon Drop, how are you doing? Oh, and I saw Derek jump in here. Derek Whiting. Cheers, everyone. Cheers to you, Derek. So we started, which all of this, we last time we went, we focused our time in Louisville and Bardstown. This time we stayed Lawrenceburg and Frankfurt. So, it's kind of a good place to split if you've not been to the Bourbon Trail, in Kentucky before. First of all, in Kentucky, there are more distilleries than you could possibly visit in a day. They're just it's n even in a weekend, it's not possible. So it's better to split your time into different areas of the state. There's still a ton that we missed that I we're definitely on our list for next time. There's some that we actually added that, Saturday got a little dicey. That was crazy. We tried to squeeze in another one on Saturday. But we focused this time on the Lawrenceburg, Frankfurt area. Stayed in Frankfurt, lovely hotel. It's called the Delegate, real old historic boutique hotel. Really liked it. Within walking distance of a lot of places. So first one we hit Woodford Reserve. Now I love Woodford Double Oak. That was actually the first pour I went in was had some Woodford Double Oak. So let me know if you're a Woodford fan, if you're not a Woodford fan. We tried a lot of the other stuff they have there. They have, I think it was a red corn that they just came out with. It was okay. It was probably our favorite next to the Double Oak. Um, they had like a malted barley, they had a wheater. We tried all of that. And I don't know if you all have seen the Dan Krampus stream, that the Deathless Dog stream that I was on that year with Dan, where and I can't even remember who gifted me a bottle of the Woodford Reserve, the special stouted mash bottle that I said it tasted like you licked the inside of a horse stall. And unfortunately, some of the Woodford still gives off that barnyard vibes that I am just not about. So, unfortunately, Woodford was actually the only distillery. We did not buy anything, because of the only thing I would have gotten they had like, a special Father's Day edition of the double oaked, but it was a single barrel double oaked, and I'm like, I don't know if I wanna roll the dice. So, I did get a little baby kinda Glen, but look how fancy. I feel like a fancy, fancy lady. It's like a little kinda Copita, and it's got the Woodford logo on it. So that I did get there. Hey, Nick Proman, how are you doing? I saw Nick jump in here. Saw Zenbood. How are you doing, Zenbood? Yeah, Glen Goblet, right? It's so cute. Yeah, it has a little Woodford logo on it. But absolutely, I will say absolutely gorgeous area. Even just the way, the drive to Woodford is just absolutely beautiful. You've got the rolling hills, the horses, the horse pastures everywhere. The grand estates. I mean, honestly, even the caretaker's house is bigger than my house. It's just crazy there. It's great horse I call it horse money area of Kentucky. So that was our first stop was at Woodford. Our second was at Four Roses, where we had a tasting of the private reserve barrels. Now, this we did end up bringing home a private reserve barrel. I don't know if you guys are big, Four Roses fans. I'm a big Four Roses fan. Ooh, that's hitting good. Love me Four Roses. If you've not visited the distillery, it's absolutely beautiful. Um, it's really different. It sticks out kind of like a Spanish villa. Um, and it's, the yellow with the red, and it's a really pretty distillery, which got a shirt, of course. Did get OBSQ, I think is the recipe they had there that day, that was the distillery, edition that they were releasing that day. I was hoping they'd have more bottles available there. That's probably my only knock about Four Roses is I want them to have, the usual offerings there, and they don't really have that. I was hoping like the 50%, or 100 proofers that we get here with the red labels, they didn't have any of those. So basically, you were buying small batch or you were buying the distillery reserve, and they did have 2 different distillery releases. The other one was actually sweeter. We got the spicier one. We did get the opportunity to try both of them in the tasting. So, it's a pretty cool tasting. They give you, a nice little, chocolate, paired with the whiskey, and 4 different of the private barrels, so that was kinda nice. They have a great bar there. If you've not been there, they have a I will say their gift shop is really cool. A lot of swag at Four Roses. Four Roses is a nice we were able to visit last time just for a hot minute, and really glad that we were able to see it more this time. Ooh. This is so cool. This wild turkey is really nutty. Q is the floral yeast, thank you. Yes. Oh, you got your flat cap at Four Roses. I don't think I saw that there. My husband picked this shirt out for me, you can't see the back. It is, some of their old advertising, and it has a bulldog on the back of it, and we've had English bulldogs, we have French bulldogs now, so it was a no-brainer. I had to get this one. I have a whole ton of shirts that are Irish whiskey distilleries. I really didn't have any American other than a Bardstown that's way too big now. So, yeah, they have a lot of cool swag. A lot of golf stuff, a lot of T-shirts at Four Roses, just a lot of glassware, a lot of everything. We picked up the Four Roses cigar. We always got cigars anytime we were in a distillery that had cigars available. Now, usually I would say the floral to go with the E instead of the Q. I like floral normally. I think it's OBSF is the one I like the best. I think that's the one in the red bottle that I like anyway. Oh, sorry, you meant instead of B. Yeah, this is pretty sure it's OESQ. I'll have to zoom in. I have a picture of the full. You can see why I didn't bring it all upstairs here of the full haul when we get through here. So we did our tasting at Four Roses, and the next stop was the place that just had absolute freaking insanity yesterday, and that was Buffalo Trace. Um, so we went to Buffalo Trace. We picked that Friday because they did not have a special drop that Friday. Following day, they were having Weller 12. We have a Weller 12. Honestly, it ain't that great. It's okay. I prefer Weller Antique. But we were able so we went there, it was probably like 3 o'clock, I think when we got there, 3:30ish, no line, waltzed right in. I got this little Glen, it's got my little buffalo on it. We got to talk to them about the flooding that happened last year. We got to see they pointed out, when you're in the line, when you purchase your tickets to go into the gift shop area, that the water was well over your head, well over the doorway in there. The gift shop, they said it was 3 to 4 feet. So that's pretty amazing how they cleaned it up so quickly. Um, yeah, Liz agrees. Weller foolproof and antique, way over 12. Completely agree with you, Liz. Those are my 2 favorites as well. Oh, you're saying OESQ, OBSQ. Okay. F is the herbal one. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I have a card that I brought home that actually explains all their acronyms. Um, and they told us about it during that tasting, but that was way many whiskeys ago, and I don't remember. So I brought the card home though. So the card, at least I have the card. But so we went into Buffalo Trace. Each got a Weller Antique, each got an E.H. Taylor small batch, just to have a bottle of it. My husband got a Blanton's. I did not buy a Blanton's. I was good on that, but so now I'm probably going to be doing actually a Weller Antique. I'm gonna have to do a Weller giveaway. I know. I knew you were gonna say that, Sugar Kitty. You Ohio and your Weller. You see one every 5 years? Yeah. We get it fairly regularly now here in Ohio, and we have quite a few on the shelf now. So I probably am gonna be doing, here in the next few weeks, I'm gonna do a couple Irish streams first, but maybe sometime in July, I'll do a Weller Antique giveaway to have some. And I have an abundance now. Four Roses has 10 mash bills hurting. They are adding 2 more soon. Oh, wow. See, I did not know that. They didn't mention that there. And in all honesty, and I love their whiskey. The It was a little bit lackluster, as far as the actual tasting. The gentleman who led the tasting, kinda younger guy, I don't know if he had done it a whole lot. He wasn't super engaging. We got the opportunity that we could have gone and kinda checked out, some of the distillery after because we ended the tasting so soon. We've seen so many distilleries that we're good. We wanted to get to Buffalo Trace anyway, so we rushed over and did that. I would like more E.H. Taylor, please, and thank you. Yeah, Kilco, I can throw a sample into your box. We don't get E.H. Taylor as much here. Weller Special Reserve and Weller Antique, we do seem to get pretty regularly, and regularly enough that, I mean, you don't have to get up and wait hours in line to get one, honestly. It's not that bad. It's not nearly like it used to be here. And I think that's Buffalo Trace, I think. Well, I think part of it is the hype, the craze for whiskey in general has died down, but I think they've also where they were producing a little bit more. Oh, any Weller in your area is behind the glass case. Oh, wow, yeah, they threw Special Reserve up on the shelf. I've walked in and just found it sitting on a shelf. That's nuts. We love Weller Antique for some reason, it's everywhere in Ohio, yeah. We I don't know what kind of back alley deal Ohio Liquor Control made with Buffalo Trace, but we get just Buffalo Trace drops fairly regularly where it's, you know, Blanton's, E.H. Taylor, Eagle Rare, and Weller Antique and Weller SR. We get those pretty regular. Florida. Ohio and Florida could exchange the Buffalo Trace bottles they get. Yeah, we don't get we get, E.H. Taylor small batch fairly regular not as regular as antique, but we get it fairly regularly, but the others we don't. Not nearly as much. They don't put 200 and $300 bottles right on the shelf. That's a $65 bottle. It's like 65 dollars. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I'll definitely do a giveaway with one of them. 'Cause we already had one that we got in Ohio standing in line, and we had a backup to that one, and we just got, I think, 2 more. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. So, Buffalo Trace, go when there's not anything crazy dropping. You don't have to wait in the line. You can go store gift shop is massive, absolutely massive. So we did go upstairs and got to sample the bourbons that we've already all had many times. The gentleman was very, very nice. He actually, again, we got these chocolates with a little pecan on them, and he had actually come up with a recipe for it and got them to start giving those out. So it was a really cool little thing. Um, to get cigars there, we got the Buffalo Trace cigars, we got the H. Taylor cigars, the Pappy cigars. So we ended up spending a little bit of money at Buffalo Trace, but that was our, I should have brought up that other bottle that I got that night. When Ontario took the bourbon off the shelves a year and a half ago, there were 7,000 bottles of Weller 107 dropping. I'm running low. Ooh, you guys need some more. You guys need some more. Hopefully hopefully everything will get squared away and you guys will start seeing it again, Peter. Hey Ed, how are you doing? Cheers, how are you? We are talking whiskey. So day one, Woodford Reserve, Four Roses, Buffalo Trace. We went back to the hotel, we went to dinner, and I think that's gonna be my next pour here. Move that over. Well, I'll do it my fancy glass. So we went to a restaurant, in Frankfurt, if you haven't been there, Bourbon on Main. Really cool place. Right out sits on the river. We had dinner on the back deck overlooking the river that goes past Frankfurt. Again, they were able to tell us how high the water came up when they had the flooding there last year. But they also do restaurant barrel picks. So I got this Knob Creek barrel pick, and it is called Boat Ride. And 115 proof Knob Creek rye pick. And actually, I didn't we went to dinner, there on Friday, I didn't end up getting it, and I talked myself back into it Saturday, and it was only a block from our hotel, so we walked back and got it, and I'm getting wax everywhere, but wouldn't be a Knob Creek bottle without wax everywhere. So this is, this might be the only rye bottle I bought the whole time. actually, now I'm thinking about it. Ooh, that was a good one. So, yeah, if you have a chance, definitely recommend Bourbon on Main. Great food, great restaurant. The whiskey selection there was, of course, incredible. And they had this barrel pick, and then I think they also had a Maker's Mark barrel pick, but you guys know how I feel. Me and Makers have a hate-hate relationship. So, but this one was done by Bourbon on Main. This is a 5 year, yes, 5 year, 115 proof single barrel select rye. This is actually my first Knob Creek. I've had Knob Creek single barrels, but never a rye. So this was my first rye from Knob Creek. So that's another reason I kind of wanted to get it. So yeah, Nick, you could tell Adriana. I got a Knob Creek when I was in Kentucky. Unfortunately, it's a rye. Let me know if you guys have a favorite distillery in Kentucky, favorite that you've picked up in Kentucky. Let me know what it is. I've been asked what was my favorite in all these, and God, that'd be hard. It's hard when you squeeze in so much whiskey into such a short amount of time. It's honestly you have to go back and revisit, I think. It's a little weird to drink from this little Copita thing. It's kinda narrowed in. So another, Michter's. Michter's, we did hit Michter's, our first trip. I'm a Michter's fan as well, Liz. So another, we'd already hit 3 distilleries that day. We already went to dinner, had a pour. When we were coming out of dinner, directly down the street from our hotel, we could see there was some kind of festival. The street was closed. And the server at dinner told us that they were having some music and they have a festival down there. So we wandered down Craft Bourbon Festival. It was being run by the Frankfurt Bourbon Society and Bourbon on the Banks. So for $10, you got a little plastic, like wee copita that says Bourbon on the Banks. And you got to try, there were probably 12 different craft distillers there. So we're like, screw it. I mean, we're on vacation. Why not? I'm like, I knew we were, well, there's no possible way I could try all of them. It was a little toasty out. Um, so I knew we weren't going to get through all of them, but for $10, that, let's keep it going. They had Whiskey Thief there. I did recognize them. Honestly, that was the only distillery that I recognized. I don't know if any of you know of a distillery called Left Bank. My husband ended up buying that was the only bottle that, we bought from any of the craft distillers there, and you can taste the difference. I see what you guys mean. After going to places like Four Roses, Buffalo Trace, Woodford, and then drinking the craft stuff, you definitely can taste the difference. Um, it's noticeable, and the stuff was quite a bit younger that we were drinking at the festival. But my husband bought one that was from a place called Left Bank. And what he does is he puts the whiskey barrel in a boat on the Mississippi and takes it all the way downriver to Louisiana and then gets it out and brings it back. And it was okay. It was a decent bourbon. But I thought that was a kind of neat little story. I mean, I've heard obviously we know like Jefferson's Ocean. I've told you about Clare Island that they do it in Ireland too, that they put it on a boat out in the middle of the Atlantic, about 4 miles offshore and just anchor it. And so I'd not heard anybody doing it on a river. That was kind of wild. So I thought it was kind of interesting. I know that's super to run into a craft distillery, right? And we haven't had enough bourbon today, 3 distilleries. Now we got a craft whiskey distillery within walking distance of the hotel. And it turned out to be right across the place. It was right, I think there's like a city hall or something that's in the downtown area. It was right on the front lawn of that. So that was fun. So if you follow or were watching on, Whiskey Uncensored Friday night, I ended up jumping on their stream for about 10, 15 minutes on Ben's stream, and Bourbon told me about Glenn's, Glenn's Creek. I had not heard of Glenn's Creek Distillery. I'd seen it on the map, but really didn't know anything about it. And everybody on stream that night recommended that we stop there. We were going to Castle and Key. I said it's right beside it, so it's the Old Crow Distillery to stop there. So cool! I cannot recommend it enough. If you get the opportunity to go to Glens Creek, it's really cool. It's on this little country road. You're going out to Castle and Key, and it is like it's the Old Crow Distillery, and it's really neat what they're doing there. They're a craft distillery, but I will say their stuff tasted monumentally different than the stuff at that festival. Um, it was very good. We ended up, um we ended up getting a bottle that actually wasn't a whiskey, it was a spirit because it had sugar added to it, but it tasted like chocolate fudge. It was so good. So, it was called the Hamilton Dark, and we ended up getting that. My husband got a T-shirt there. It was just really cool. We tasted a bunch of different stuff there, and they were just really, really nice people, really down to earth, and it was something I totally enjoyed because you're literally going into the side entrance of the distillery, and it's just one little room, and that's it. And it was really neat. She actually had a video playing of the flooding that they had, and the Old Crow Distillery, if anybody ever wanted to revitalize it, they basically would have to start on the 2nd floor and up because the 1st floor was just completely annihilated by floodwater. So, that was disappointing, but it was really neat to see all that history. Hey, bourbon Buffalo bourbon enthusiasts, taking a break this afternoon. Cheers. Dave Oglesay, how are you doing? Cheers to you. I got everybody down here, and Liz. Glens Creek is your favorite craft distillery. Yes. That place is so cool. It is so cool. That was just right up my alley. It was right up my alley. I absolutely loved it. Um, it is you're walking into a piece of history. I mean, you've got and I will say they need more signage because we actually when we went to Castle and Key, we're telling people they need to go up the road and visit them, and I don't think if we had known it was there, we probably would cruise right past it. But it was really, really cool. You've got just this new little distillery set in these old built historic buildings. So it was so cool. 5 years is one of the lowest ages on a single barrel I've seen from Beam. Yeah, and I liked it. I didn't even look at the age when I bought it, so but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yes, Vicky. Yes, that was her name. She was so nice. I think because we were being, adults, they got a tour group that rolled in there right as they were opening. And of course, one of them tried to roll in with a mixed drink in his hand. And she's like, you're going to get us, or you're going to get us fined and shut down. You can't bring outside alcohol into the distillery. It was some birthday party, but yeah, it was really, really good. I cannot recommend them. Favorite for you is Corbin Cash right now. I do like me some Corbin Cash. I do like that. Big fan of how Ingram offerings river aged on the Mississippi River. See, that's another one. I didn't know if this is a new one for me. I didn't know we were doing the aging on the river now. So that's really cool. The road to Glens Creek is narrow and shaky depending on which end you're coming from. We rode the whole flipping thing because we went to Glens Creek. After that, we went to Castle and Key. Absolutely love Castle and Key as well. And then we kept going from Castle and Key over to Wild Turkey. So we rode that whole road. Um, Luckily, my friend drove the whole way. He is CDL truck driver, examiner like my husband. So we were in good hands on that road. But yeah, it is a tiny, tiny little narrow road. But Castle and Key we went to next. Castle and Key was really cool. It's crazy. Those are night and day distilleries near each other. I loved both of them, and they could not have been more different. You had Glens Creek that is in this old, historic setting, but, the buildings, you can tell they're the ones that they're using and the ones that have just kind of fallen into disrepair that have not been utilized. And then you've got, Castle and Key that looks like Victorian ladies should be standing out in their dresses with their parasols, playing croquet on the front lawn with lavender blooming, in the side yard. There's a little waterfall, there's just there's, the castle itself, flowers everywhere. We got of course, I bought a candle there because it smelled good. Um, I did get a bottle at Castle and Key, and I didn't bring it up here. I did get a weekend, got a weekend and a t-shirt. I love that place. Got some great pictures at Castle and Key. I was able to meet Doug Bolt there. So Doug B that's in here, um, he is from the Kentucky area, and I let him know, hey, he said he was gonna actually be visiting the same places the next day. So I ended up running into him at Castle and Key, him and his wife. So we got a picture with them, and I think I don't know if I shared it. I might have shared it at Patreon. If I didn't, I'll have to have Doug share it at Patreon. I know Doug shared it on Instagram. So that was really cool. The bottle I got at Castle and Key, let me just tell you, super excited about that one. It was an experimental Castle and Key, and it was done in a VDN cask. I love VDN casks. This one was no exception. It was so good. Little orange zest notes, very creamy, very, very nice bottle. I was so excited to grab that one. But that was a really cool little thing there. Oh my god, that drive to Wild Turkey is so scary. Uh, I mean, we drove it, yeah, we drove it from Castle and Key, so it was definitely on that. I think it's called McCracken Pike. It was that windy road, but like I said, we were in good hands, and it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. It was really pretty going over the Kentucky River. That was really pretty. Sounds like Jefferson's Voyage started something. Taste and Sensibility, I think you're right, because that was the first one, and then Ireland started doing one, and then this is the first I've heard about people are doing it on the rivers too. So I think you're right. I think they started something. I'll have to post a picture of that left bank bottle to my Patreon, 'cause it was kind of a neat thing. Oh, this is the same lady sipping a mint julep at the Kentucky Derby. I could see that. I could see that, Sugar Kitty. And it was you go into the gift shop at this place, and I swear there should have been, like, the scent of flowers, in the air. It was very, very different, but I liked it. I liked it. It was bougie. It was a little bougie. That's fine. That's me. I can be a little bougie. My husband will be the first one to tell you. So, I did enjoy it. Their whiskey is hit or miss for me, but I really like the VDN. I like a VDN finish anyway. So we actually bought the tour of the castle, which never ended up actually going into the castle. By the time we drank our samples and kind of walked the grounds and saw the waterfall and the cistern and went to gift shop, and we had to be at Wild Turkey at 12:30. So we ended up never actually looking at the castle. But we've been to Ireland a couple times. We've been to Germany. We've seen the inside of a castle or two. So next time, let's do that. Hey, Richie Z, how are you doing? Experimental is in everything at Castle and Key. Yeah, I think this is more an experimental finish. And I like me some finished bourbon. So a lot of the stuff I actually bought was finished. Hey, Slapshot, how are you doing, Brian? Oh, make sure I got all you guys. I don't think Ingram is really about the voyage. Their barges, I think, was really about the cost savings of not buying more land for warehouses. That's not a bad idea. And see, they won't run into the problem that Ireland does in the fact that because it's not aged in a bonded whiskey warehouse and it's aged at sea, they can't call it whiskey. They have to call it spirit drink. You gotta have it distilled where the taxes are paid. That is a good point. That's not a bad idea, honestly. Probably cheaper. Well, I don't know. The price of gas these days, probably not. So, our next trip, Wild Turkey. Unfortunately, once again, our second trip there did not get to meet Jimmy Russell, he was not there. I think somebody said his Vespa was outside, but, um, he was not there. Gorgeous so when we were there last time, it was the old, building that they were using for the gift shop. This time we got to see the new building that they had constructed. Gorgeous views of the Kentucky River and of the bridge, um, beautiful views. We did the premium tasting there. So we got to sample, we sampled the 8-year, the Wild Turkey 8-year. We sampled the, rare breed rye and, Master's Keep Voyage. And I had not had a rare breed rye until then, and that might be my new freaking favorite. That was phenomenal. I absolutely loved that. We ended up picking up a couple things. We ended up getting, Wild Turkey, is it Kentucky Spirit, I think is the name of it. They've had it here in Ohio, but it's been, and I think it's either been allocated or flew off the shelves. So I didn't end up getting one. So we ended up picking that up. And we also picked up this Wild Turkey 101 single barrel. And oh, my camera's gonna focus. No, it's not. So this one they had it was Distiller Select 2025. This is a let's see, 8-year old distilled. This was matured on I guess it's floor number 4 and 101 proof. I don't know that I like it better than 101. We have a little bit of 101 downstairs, and I think I'm gonna put them side by side and see if I can if I like this better, if I like the regular 101 better. It's different. It definitely is different than 101. Um, the peanuts, the notes starting to get a little nutty, but it doesn't have as much of a nutty note on it. I get more vanilla on that one, that's for sure. Honestly, if it was a single barrel from the distillery, I would have liked it to be at a higher proof. I think that's I mean, we're going to the distillery. Why not? But we ended up spending, had a few drinks at Wild Turkey, ended up spending a bit of money at Wild Turkey, ended up, I got another T-shirt at Wild Turkey. I did not get any glassware. They didn't have any Weeklands, so I didn't get any glassware there. My husband got a hat. Oh, oh, Sugar Kitty, I thought I noticed. No, I missed one of your comments. Well, when you say something, it doesn't mean a bar just sit there. Oh, no, see, now that's a different story. Yeah, if you're just have a barge sitting there, that is definitely cheaper. Hey, Roger Reese, how are you doing? Yeah, a 101 and I guess they had this week they had a 101 they announced like a 101 single barrel rye, the 101 rye single barrel. But yeah, it says at the top, single barrel 101. I thought it was like because the bottle shape is more like a rare breed, but the top says it's a 101, it's 101 proof. But yeah, it was a little different. It's definitely different. My husband had and we did actually get glassware there because he did get a pour Master's Keep, which comes in a very fancy shot glass. And, as last time he got, an old fashioned. They make a great old fashioned at Wild Turkey, and he came home with another Wild Turkey Rocks glass. That actually I've been making him old fashions today. Hey, Donner Pass. Happy Father's Day to all applicable. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. It's been a crazy, crazy week. I completely forgot about that. Thank you, Donner. Oh, you never come Wild Turkey and a Bonder Lillard last time we were there. Um, this was new. This single barrel, last time we were there, it didn't have these. So this was kinda new. And I kinda like that they're doing something like that. I think if you're going to the distillery, I mean, it's nice that the distillery has a bottle that's distillery only. I think that's kind of the point. So those are basically like a Kentucky Spirit. Well, I have a Kentucky Spirit downstairs, so that was a different bottle. I could definitely compare it. That was the other one that we picked up there. Um, yeah, it's been a crazy day. I tried to do yard work. We've had the air show in town all week, and I was actually gonna go on another walk because I figured out if I climb to the top of the fire tower over at the park, I can actually see all the way to the airport and watch the whole freaking thing. But, I decided to do yard work. So, I'm out back trimming this we have this, river birch tree, and I'm trying to trim the lower branches away so I can actually trim the hedges that are under it. And I trimmed one of the limbs off. Had done a bunch of it. It was getting right to the end, and I went to reach and grab for the limb that fell in the hedge, and there is a rather large, it's just a garter snake, but it was a rather large garter snake, and I saw its head popping out, and I saw how much it was slithered, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's a big boy. Yep, I'm done." So, I'm like, "Well, I could finish up. I could scare him off and poke him with a stick, get him to leave, and then finish knowing that there is a snake somewhere in this bushes, or I can just call it." And then I voted on calling it. And I tried to make noise and he didn't leave, and that's not the deal. The deal is we make noise and they go away. So, that was the end of my yard work today. It's crazy. Like, we live next to a freaking field. I see snakes all the time. I see garter snakes all the time at the park. They slither, I've had them slithering by my feet in the yard. I've had them slithering on the trail, and they're leaving. This one did not leave. He wasn't going anywhere. He was hanging out. Oh, a store by us has cheaper than the distillery. Oh, Ohio dropped a Sapples a month ago, and you picked up a few bottles. I like Sapples. I thought it was really good. Yeah, I don't do snakes, and we've had a cou I have a feeling this was one of the 2. My husband, a couple months ago, he rolled into the driveway and was walking up the front porch, and there were 2 snakes getting acquainted on my porch. Um, we have rubber mulch, and I think that kinda draws them in because of the heat, but me and snakes, no bueno. I don't wanna see them. I know they're there. If they leave, I'm okay. If they don't leave, then we got issues. So, after turkey, what did we do after turkey? Oh, I don't make sure I'm not missing out on my pictures here. Oh, I did. I forgot to show you the Glens Creek here. So this was the Glens Creek that I bought. Share screen. There we go. So this is the Glens Creek. It was called Hamilton Dark, and it is every bit as chocolatey as it looks. It was so good. Okay. Let me get that one. Preview. Quit. There we go. So after Wild Turkey, we went to Larrikin. Let me know in chat how many of you guys have been to Larrikin or have had some of Larrikin's bourbon. Um, we rolled in there and um, immediately, Mark Northwest Bourbon told me let them know that you're friends of ours and that we all know Greg from Larrikin and we know Chris and Lil from Australia. And we did. We were, I guess, one of the only groups there that actually prepaid and pre-did a tasting. So our four pour tasting, like we had to stop at 8. They had gotten to 8 and they were still pulling things out from places. Like, no, we can't do. I'm good. And we tried to squeeze in lunch before Larrikin because we were already a little tipsy. Um, and tried to squeeze in a quick lunch at Chick-fil-A and that yeah, there was so much. It was so much. We did get, thanks to Doug. Doug, bought us 2 mini bottles of the maple bourbon cream to bring home. I got this bottle, and this is what, I figured I would like and I was told to get, and that is the rose water. And, of course, I had her let me see if that's here. She signed it for me since Katie was there. I thought it was so nice, and I love the story that she tells us. about the roses for this bourbon, that they actually get the roses when they make the blanket of roses that the winning horse wears at the Kentucky Derby, that the roses that are picked off and left over from that's the roses that Larrikin uses, to flavor this bourbon, and she literally referred to it as teabagging the bourbon with the rose petals. So, and actually I loved it. I thought it tastes like strawberries and cream, and strawberry isn't really a note I typically get on bourbon. So, I really enjoyed that one quite a bit. I love that she signed it. I'm still gonna open it. I'm still gonna end up opening that. Not quite yet, but so many people are talking about kangaroos. Oh, do you know the mash bill of which one, Sugar Kitty? Larrikin is a cool experience. My whole single barrel experience was nightmare. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Liz sampled the rose water. You like unique whiskeys. That is way too unique for me. Yeah, so we had every intention, our plan when we booked Larrikin, we booked it later on in the day because we said, all right, we'll go in there, and then my husband and my friend's husband could get a cigar and go out and they could smoke a cigar there. Yeah, that didn't happen. We were all schnockered. Um, nobody was we needed a nap at that point. We ended up going back to the hotel and basically taking, like, a quick 30-power nap and then going to dinner. Um, we were kind of bourboned out at that point. Yeah. Yeah, it was a I think part of it also, a couple of us are dieting, so we're not really eating as much as we normally do, which is always a bad thing when you're trying to, drink alcohol, and drinking a lot of water. I was getting so full of water. I felt more sick just from drinking all the water, trying to counteract to make sure I wasn't drunk. So, we were just we're good. 8 was plenty. We had plenty. Thank you. They were being so generous. "Hey, I just pulled this from a cask this morning," and it all of it was really, really good. It really was, but it was I've been there, they're very accommodating. They are, especially when they found out we booked a tour and paid for a tour in advance. They were just or paid for a tasting in advance. They thought they were excited about it. Oh, Glens Creek mash bill. I do have that information. I do. This one, because this is let me look this up. I found it the other day because that's how I found out it's actually not a whiskey. It is a spirit because they add the sugar. Oh, did they not? Oh, I didn't put the percentages. It's distilled from grain, corn, rye, barley, and sugar. I thought I had seen I thought I'd seen somewhere the percentages, but maybe not. But yeah, so it had the sugar added. But I mean, I really enjoyed it. It tasted a lot like it was like chocolate fudge. That and the cafe au lait, which was actually a whiskey. I like both of those. They actually even Glens Creek had a peated that was right up my husband's alley. It actually was newer. It didn't really come off as peated um, at all. It was almost, like the Mallard effect or like a barrel char. Didn't really come off as super peaty. Oh, most of the Glens Creek mash bills, but not the Hamilton. Aussies will roll out the alcohol carpet any day. Yeah. Yeah, they've got a tolerance that I do not have and not sure ever will. Hey, Donald, how are you doing? Cheers to you. Well, we're drinking a bit of bourbon today. So, day 3 after Larrikin, mind you, we had spent a little bit. I'd gone back, picked up this Knob Creek bottle. So, at that point, we said, "We're not buying anything on day 3 unless it really jumps out at you." And, yeah, we spent the most money and bought the most bottles on day 3. So, we ended up, we got up early and we headed over to Bardstown, and really bummed. We'd intended on going to Lux Row. Lux Row was closed on Sunday. Should probably look before we did that, but, um, yeah, for the amount of barley. I'm assuming well, I asked her if it was what kind of barley if it was, if it was chocolate, chocolate malt or she said it, but I don't know if it actually is chocolate malt or if it's just I think it's malted, just so much malted barley in it that it's coming off that way. Um, Anywho, so we started at Bardstown and ended up they had a private barrel, single barrel there at the distillery release. They didn't have that last time we were there. I really liked that they added that. Um, Sampled that, it was pretty good. We picked that one up. The other thing that we got, they're doing 2 experimental bottles as well, and are these little bottles, and these are called the Bardstown Distillery Reserve, and I'm gonna pour this one, and then I'm gonna a little bit of water here. And these, we just noticed they had them behind the cashier, but what we noticed was somebody was going through and buying their 3rd set in line, and they told him he couldn't buy anymore. So we figure it must either be really good or he's a flipper. So we picked this up. This is a little these are only 375s. This is 54.9%. The other one that we got was Bardstown Bourbon, and it was finished in a Oregon Gariana oak barrel. This one is a blend of the Bardstown straight bourbon whiskey and single malt Japanese whiskey. And it is a bespoke blend of Japanese single malt rare American bourbon assembled in barrels, then aged together for 1 year. It is, let me see this, 69% of a 10-year-old Bardstown whiskey, 8% of a 16-year-old Bardstown whiskey, 20% of a 5-year, there's no way I'm pronouncing that Japanese word, Japanese whiskey, and 3% of a Tsunuki 5-year whiskey. The other one, it looks like Homage. I don't know anything about Japanese whiskeys, but so this is the little bottle. And I thought that was pretty cool. I like different stuff like that. And so that was I was glad my husband pulled grabbed those when he was right there. Hey, William Hall, cheers to you. Oh, you know what these are. The Mars. Is that what these are? Yeah, it says Mars. Yeah, we got both of them. Liz, you sounds like you know more about this than me. It sounds right up my alley. Yeah, it's so different. Um, we went out to the tasting bar and I bought my husband a flight of the collabs. So we did the Goose Island. We did the oh, what's the wine? The Ferrand. We did that one. And then the Emerald. So we actually after we already have these bottles. We already have all our stuff. Headed to the car, and my husband went back in and bought the Emerald bottle as well, the Indian whiskey one. So, they also have all their contract distilling bottles out. So we got a bottle of Pursuit. We were there too, and got this one just because it looked like a cool bottle. It's called Hand Barrel. It looks like a little barrel, and it's got a little horse on it. I don't know anything about this. It's 52.5%. It's all right. It drinks pretty hot for 105 proof. There's no way I'm pronouncing that. No. No, I could pull off all the Irish ones, the Scottish ones, a little yeah, Japanese, forget it. There's no way. Oh, you look the Goose Island was my second favorite, Roger. I my favorite was the Emerald as well, and then the Goose Island, and then the Ferrand, it was just way too dry. Um, I can't remember what wine they used in that Ferrand, but it dried the heck out of that. It was so drying. Yeah, I bought a hand barrel double oaked. I'm a sucker for a potato bottle. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's a cool bottle. Even when it's empty, we'll keep probably use it maybe for an infinity bottle or something like that. You generally don't do finished bourbons, but that Bardstown Barrel Company Emerald is pretty solid. I like, um, I like finished bourbons. I like those really more than regular bourbon, to be honest. I just, it's probably obviously I drink a lot of finished whiskey, so I think I just gravitate more towards that. Oh my god, a whole store of 120 of them. All their well, not all of them. They had probably a good 30 of them there. And I mean, they didn't have a lot of it, but they would have, like I think this was the last hand barrel. I think we got the last pursuit, but they had a K-Luke. They had I think it was K-Luke. They had probably a good 20 of them there, which last time they didn't. Last time we got and that's the reason I think everybody wanted to the guys wanted to go because last time we got the Lucky 7 holiday toast, and that was so good. Yeah, I think it's like Middle West. They do so much contract distilling, there's no way you could ever, like, put them all out. Ah, here we go. Komagatake. What he said. That's what's in there. And that is in there, I think 20%, did I say? Yeah, it's 20% 5-year Japanese single malt. So our last stop, since Lux Row was closed, we had someplace that I don't know how the heck last time we were there we missed. We decided to go to Jim Beam, and we got a couple really good things at Jim Beam. That was the first time I'd ever been to Jim Beam. Really liked it. This is one of the ones that we got there was, oh, it was another experimental bottle. And share screen. So we got this one. Oh, if it'll make, nah, I can't make it. Won't let me bring it in any closer. So this one, the distillers share another one of these small little bottles, and let me see if I can bring up. There we go. So I picked this one. No, it's not letting me. Let me change it. Add to stage. Remove. I got close preview. Close quit. Wrong one. There we go. So this is a Calvados cask finish, and they did it in American and French oak staves, 55%. It might have been the best thing I had there that day. It was one of 2 things that we had there that day that was absolutely amazing. You tried that when you were there? So they had this one, the Calvados, and then they had a Sauterne. The Sauterne was pretty good, but just this Calvados was just it's like green apple Jolly Rancher and, like, caramel candy. It was so good. Really, really good. Yeah, Jim Beam and a 375. So the gentleman said that they release these, and if they sell well and they get a lot of good feedback, then they could potentially be a full size, release from Jim Beam. Um, yeah, they had 2 or 3 of the Calvados was best. Yeah, they had this one and they had a Sauterne when we were there. So we also did a bit of tasting at Jim Beam, and I will show you the one that I came home with that we will not be opening actually until next year for our we decided to wait and save it for our wedding anniversary. and you will see why. So this is why I say that our day 3 was a bit of our most expensive day. So we came home with a Jim Beam lineage. So this is we're being saved until next year for our wedding anniversary. This is a 15-year-old bourbon. We did get to sample it there. It was very, very good. Now, I don't know if it's the $250 price tag good, but it is good. Um, but we decided to keep it for our wedding anniversary. So, has anybody else tried this? Let me know. Liz, this Mars one with the Japanese is so good. I love just the rich maltiness that that Japanese whiskey brings to it. Oh, you didn't get a chance to try it? Yeah, it's pretty flipping good. So I'm gonna wrap up because I see that Kilco is going live now. But I will show you guys this is what we ended up coming home with, which is why I can't share it all, why I can't drink it all on stream. So that is what we ended up coming home with from this trip to Kentucky. Um, yeah, lot of whiskey, a lot of glassware, a few candles. It is lineage 2. It is batch 2. We ended up with a lot of cigars, a lot of everything, a lot of everything on this trip. Yeah. It it's hilarious that we said we were gonna cut back and yeah, you end up not cutting back. Like, I'm the worst person to go with, guys. If you're trying to save money and be conservative, don't take me with you. You will not happen. It will not happen. But you will end up spending way too much. But I might do, maybe I'll do a future giveaway with some of these that are open. I think I've got 5 open now, so I could pour samples of 5 of these so somebody gets to try them. But thank you guys. I hope you guys have a good, rest of your Sunday, good rest of your week. Kilco's live now. So, yeah, I know, so conservative me. Kilco's live now. Make sure you jump over there. Uh, tell him I sent you. Tell him I said hi. I don't know if Anthony is going live tonight. I haven't had a chance to check the thumbnail. If he's going live, he'll be going live at 7:30. But I will see you guys all next week. I hope everybody has a good rest of your week and have a good one. Slacha.